Let us start salt analysis. In salt analysis, we will discuss flame test. In salt analysis, we are discussing flame test. In the salt analysis, we will take sodium metal. Sodium metal we will take. This sodium metal is taken to flame test. It gives a golden yellow color. Golden yellow color. Now we will take sodium salt. Sodium salt we will take. To this, let us add corn HCl. We will make the sodium salt with the corn HCl a paste. Then paste is introduced into oxidizing flame. It is giving the flame golden yellow flame. It gives golden yellow flame. Now sodium metal on flame test gives golden yellow color. Sodium salt with the corn HCl gives a paste. This paste is introduced into oxidizing flame. The flame is appearing golden yellow. So sodium flame test. So sodium shows a flame color golden yellow. Sir. Now we will take sodium salt is sodium sulfate. Sodium salt is sodium sulfate we are taking. To this we are adding corn HCl. Corn HCl. Double displacement takes place. Sodium takes this chlorine. Sodium takes this chlorine and becomes sodium chloride. This sodium chloride in the flame. This sodium chloride, it is a paste. It is a paste. This paste is introduced into the oxidizing flame. First it is vaporizing. First it is becoming vaporized. Then in the vapors, what will be there means sodium ion will be there and chloride ion will be there. This sodium ion takes electron from the flame. This sodium ion takes electron from the flame and becomes sodium in the flame. This sodium electronic configuration is neon 3s1. This sodium takes energy from the flame. Takes energy from the flame while 3s electron excites. While 3s electron excites. 3s electron excites. Now 3s electron is in excited state which is unstable. So it jumps back to ground state by emitting radiation. Due to that radiation, golden yellow color is appeared. Golden yellow color is appeared. Now here in this case we are taking a sodium salt. Sodium salt example is sodium sulfate. This sodium sulfate is mixed with corn HCl. Now paste is produced. This paste contains sodium chloride by double displacement. This sodium ion takes this chloride ion to and becomes sodium chloride. This paste is introduced into the oxidizing flame. This paste is vaporized in the oxidizing flame. The vapors contain sodium ion and chloride ion. Sodium ion takes electron from the flame. Sodium ion takes electron from the flame and becomes sodium. Sodium electronic configuration is neon 3s1. This 3s1 this 3s1 takes energy from the flame and goes to excited state. In excited state, the electron is unstable, so jumps back to ground state while emitting radiation. This radiation is having what color? Golden yellow. That means this radiation is having wavelength of golden yellow, therefore it is appearing golden yellow color. Therefore, sodium salt, sodium is giving golden yellow, we are saying. Okay. Now we will take some other sodium salt, for example, sodium phosphate. Sodium phosphate we will take. This sodium phosphate is mixed with corn HCl and made into a paste. The paste is introduced into the paste is having sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is introduced into the oxidizing flame and so on so process takes place and gives golden yellow color. If we take sodium phosphate. Then suppose if you take sodium salt is some other sodium salt you are taking. Sodium bromide. Sodium bromide is mixed with corn HCl and you are getting paste and so on so process takes place and you will get golden yellow. So whatever the sodium salt you take, you will get golden yellow color because you are whatever the sodium salt You are converting that into sodium chloride, and then you are getting color, and then you are introducing into the flame set. Why to convert the given salt into chloride salt for doing flame test? Why to convert the given salt into chloride salt for flame test? Because chloride salt is highly volatile. Chloride salt is highly volatile. Therefore, only the given salt is converted into chloride salt for flame test. Here, we are for flame test. We have to convert the given salt into chloride salt by mixing with ConHCl, because chloride salt is highly volatile. Hence, okay. So the given salt we are mixing with ConHCl. We are making as a paste. The paste contains chloride salt which has higher volatility. Therefore, only for flame test we have to convert the given salt into chloride salt. Okay. Now sodium salt, in from sodium salt gives golden yellow color because of so and so reason. Because of so and so reason. Okay. Now sodium metal we will take. Sodium metal also gives a golden yellow color. Sodium metal also gives a golden yellow color. Why? Because sodium is having electronic configuration neon 3s1, 3s1 electron. This sodium we are considering, sodium is having electronic configuration neon 3s1. 3s1 is taking energy from the flame and go to excited state. In excited state it is unstable, so it comes back to ground state. While it emits radiation, that radiation is having wavelength golden yellow, therefore it is appearing golden yellow color. It gives a golden yellow flame. It gives a golden yellow flame in the flame. So sodium metal flame test we are seeing. Sodium metal is having neon 3s1. It is introduced into the flame. In the flame, this 3s1 is taking energy from the flame and go to excited state. In excited state, the electron is unstable, so comes back to ground state. While that emits radiation, that radiation is having wavelength of golden yellow, so that the flame is appearing golden yellow. So sodium metal is giving golden yellow in the flame. Sodium salt also giving golden yellow in the flame. Therefore, the flame test for gold sodium is a golden yellow. Flame test for sodium is a golden yellow. In that way, potassium is giving violet, calcium is giving brick red, strontium is giving crimson red, barium is giving grassy green. You can see, crackers. Crackers you can see. Crackers are cracking and giving colors. You can see sometimes crimson red you can see. Deep red you can see. That deep red is due to presence of strontium salt in this cracker. In this cracker, strontium salt, if it is there, then the cracker on cracking gives color. That color will be crimson red. So the crackers are having many salts, many mixed salts. Therefore, they are giving this on cracking gives different colors. Okay, this is due to flame test. This is due to flame test. This flame test, in the sense, in the cracker flame is there. We are providing flame so that it is burning, so that it gives colors. The color is due to flame test. Okay. Next we will see borax bead test. Next we are seeing borax bead test. Next we will take borax bead borax bead test. We are taking borax bead test. Okay. Now we will take borax. We will take borax formula is Na2B4O7.NH2. Na2B4O7.NH2. Now you say, in the borax, how many water molecules present? Borax contains how many water molecules? Hydrated borax formula is Na2B4O7.NH2O. Hydrated borax formula is Na2B4O7.NH2O. Now say, hydrated borax contains how many water molecules per borax? One borax molecule contains how many water molecules? What is the answer? What do you say? Borax formula is Na2B4O7.NH2O. Borax contains how many water molecules? Borax contains how many water molecules? Okay. Let us see borax contains how many water molecules. We will see. One student said 10. Whether it is correct or wrong, let us check. Okay. Now borax we will see. In borax, boron is 4 times present. Okay. Borax contains 4 boron atoms. We have written 4 boron atoms. Okay. Borax contains 4 boron atoms that we have written. Okay. Next, this borax, in this borax, oxygen is there. That oxygen we will write. Now, borax contain oxygen. That oxygen we will write. We will check whether number of water molecules 10 or not. That we will check. Now, oxygen atoms we will write one oxygen, second oxygen, third oxygen, fourth oxygen, fifth oxygen, sixth oxygen, seventh oxygen. So oxygens we have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 we have written. Okay, 7 oxygens we have written. Then here also one more oxygen we will write. Like this we have written. Now boron, if you see boron electronic configuration is helium 2s2 2p1 2s2 2p1. So 2s is having 2 electrons, 2p is having 1 electron in the ground state. In the excited state means 2s electron goes to 2p. 2s electron goes to 2p. Okay. So in the boron, excited state is having 3 unpaired electrons. So boron is coming under group number 3a. So boron can form 3 bonds. Boron can form 3 bonds. Okay. Boron is forming 3 bonds. 1, 2, 3. Boron is forming 3 bonds like this. Boron is forming 3 bonds. Boron is forming 3 bonds like this. Okay. Boron is forming 3 bonds. Okay. Next, this boron, if you see, boron is having vacant orbital. Boron is having vacant orbital in the valence shell. Boron is having vacant orbital in the valence shell. Due to vacant orbital, it goes for fourth bonding. It goes for fourth bonding. Due to fourth bonding, the boron is getting negative charge. Boron is getting negative charge. Due to fourth bonding, boron is getting negative charge. Why boron has got a negative charge? Boron is providing vacant orbital for bonding. Therefore, it is gaining electron cloud. Due to that, boron is getting negative charge. This boron is having 4 bonds. Therefore, it has gained electron. So, it is having negative charge. Similarly, this boron. Okay. This boron is not having negative charge because it is having only 3 bonds. Next, this oxygen. Oxygen group number 6a. So this valence shell contains 6 electrons. That means oxygen can form 2 bonds. Here if you see, this oxygen is having 2 bonds, whereas this oxygen is having only 1 bond. Another bond is with hydrogen. Another bond is with hydrogen. So another bond is with hydrogen. Okay, we have written like this. So we have written borax structure. We have written now in this written structure, how many hydrogen atoms are there? 4 hydrogen atoms are there. One hydrogen here, second hydrogen here, third hydrogen here, fourth hydrogen here. 4 hydrogens over means remaining is 8 water molecules. Remaining is 8 water molecules. Then this sodium is having positive charge. That positive charge present near this negative charge. Negative charge. So what is the formula of borax? What is the formula of borax? We'll see. This borax formula. This borax is containing 2 sodium ions. The 2 sodium ions will write here. Then here boron atoms. How many boron atoms? In the sense 4 boron atoms present. Then oxygen atoms. If you see one oxygen, second oxygen, third oxygen, fourth oxygen, then fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. Then 9 oxygen atoms. 9 oxygen atoms are present. In the 9 oxygen atoms, 4 oxygen atoms present in the form of OH groups. 4 oxygen atoms present in the form of OH groups. Now OH groups, if you see, 1, here 2, here 3, here 4. So how many OH groups means 4 OH groups present. 4 OH groups present in the borax. How many oxygen atoms acting like a bridge? How many oxygen atoms acting like a bridge? Here one oxygen acting like a bridge between two boron atoms. This oxygen acting like a bridge between two boron atoms. It is third oxygen bridge. It is fourth oxygen bridge. It is a fifth oxygen bridge. So that five oxygens acting like a bridge. Then these 8 water molecules we will write here. 8 water molecules we will write here. So borax formula. Formula of borax is Na2B4O5OH 4 times 8 water molecules. So formula of borax is borax formula is Na2B4O5OH 4 times 8 water molecules. So in the borax 4 boron atoms are there. 4 boron atoms we are writing. In the borax 4 boron atoms are there. 4 boron atoms 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5 oxygen atoms. The 5 oxygen atoms acting like a bridge. One oxygen is acting like a bridge between two boron atoms. Second oxygen acting like a bridge. Third oxygen atom acting like a bridge. Fourth oxygen atom acting like a bridge. Fifth oxygen atom acting like a bridge. So 5 oxygens acting like a bridge. And then each boron is having one OH group. Each boron is having one OH group, so that 4 OH groups. Now this boron is having negative charge because it is having 4 bonds. Boron group number is 30A, so boron can form normally 3 bonds. Here fourth bond is there because of vacant orbital in the boron. Due to that, the boron is getting negative charge. This boron is having 4 bonds, so that negative charge. This boron is having 4 bonds, so that negative charge. For this boron, no negative charge because only 3 bonds. For this boron, no negative charge because only 3 bonds. Okay. These two sodium ions we have written as Na2. So remaining 8 water molecules we have written here. Now say borax is a complex. Shall we say borax is a complex compound? Shall we say, or simple compound? Shall we say? Okay, so we can say borax is a complex compound. Borax is a complex compound. Now say borax contain how many water molecules? 8 water molecules. So hydrated borax. Hydrated borax means borax is containing 8 water molecules as hydration. Borax contains 8 water molecules as hydration. Okay. Now we will see borax bead test. Borax bead test. How to do this borax bead test? That we will see. We are taking a platinum wire. We are taking a platinum wire like this. It is the platinum wire. Here platinum wire we have taken. This part is glass rod. In order to hold this glass rod is there. Now this is platinum wire. The tip of the platinum wire is made as a loop. Now the tip of the platinum wire is made as a loop. Okay. This tip part is made as a loop. Sorry. Now we are this is a platinum wire. The tip part is made as a loop like this. Then the glass rod, it is a glass rod. The glass rod in order to hold. Okay. It is a loop. Now it is a platinum loop. We will say platinum loop. It is platinum loop. Okay. Now this platinum loop is dipped in con HCl. This platinum loop is dipped in con HCl. Then the platinum loop is introduced into oxidizing flame till it exits some flame color. Now, why it is existing flame color? In the sense it is having some impurities. Now, when it stops showing flame color, it is detached from the flame. At that time, we can say this platinum loop is pure. Pure. It is not having any impurity. Okay. Now, the platinum loop is having impurities. How to remove the impurities? Dip the platinum loop in con HCl, then introduce into oxidizing flame. The flame removes all the impurities. How to know whether impurities are removed or not? On introducing the flame into the and introducing this loop into the flame, it will show brightness. If brightness is stopped, that indicates the impurities are removed. Okay. Now in the platinum loop, impurities are there. That impurities you are removing by dipping in con HCl and then introducing into the oxidizing flame. Now the platinum loop is completely free from impurities. Then the platinum loop is placed in borax. On placing this platinum loop in borax, Borax crystals clings into this loop. Borax crystals clings into this loop. Now borax crystals clings into the loop like this. Clings into the loop like this. That means borax crystals go into the loop. Go into the loop. All the borax crystals go into the loop. Now in this loop, what is there? Borax is there. Borax. Borax formula is what? Borax formula is this one. Structure of borax is this one. It is the structure of borax. It is the structure of borax. Now this borax is present in which one? Present in the loop. Okay. The borax is present in the loop. Now this is introduced into which flame? Oxidizing flame. It is introduced into oxidizing flame. What will happen? What will happen means this part will getting swollen. This is getting swollen. This borax is getting swollen. So borax swells. Borax swells. It is swollen. It is swelling. It is swelling. Why does it swell? Why does it swell? Why does borax swell in on introducing into the flame? Now see borax formula. You see it is a borax formula. It is a borax formula. This borax is introduced into the flame. On introducing into the flame, it is swelling. It is swelling. Even if you take borax in the test tube, the borax is colorless. Borax is colorless. You take borax in the test tube and introduce into the flame. What will happen means this borax swells. Borax swells. Why does it swell? Why does it swell? Okay. Why does it swell? Okay, you are saying due to presence of water. You are correct. Okay, now what happens means from here this borax becomes anhydrous borax. The borax becomes anhydrous borax. Anhydrous borax. So anhydrous borax formula is Na2B4O7. This borax formula is Na2B4O7.NH2O. That means borax on introducing into the flame, it is becoming anhydrous borax due to escaping of water molecules. Due to escaping of water molecules, it is swelling. So water molecules leaving means it has to make empty gap in order to go away. Therefore only it is swelling, like swelling we can say. Suppose borax molecules present like this. Borax molecules present like this we will take. Borax molecules present like this. Now here this bulk molecule, from here water molecule, from this water molecule is leaving means it has to come like this. It has to come like this. It has to come like this means what it will do, this water molecule will make this to go this side. Will make this to go this side. This molecule is going this side. Therefore molecules are moving far away. Therefore it is getting swelling. Sorry, okay. The borax gets swelling due to evolution of water, and the borax is becoming anhydrous borax. Okay. So why does borax swell? Due to escaping of water molecules. Sir. Now we got anhydrous borax. Then this anhydrous borax is melting. This anhydrous borax is melting on continuous introduction into flame. It is melting so that you are getting a colorless liquid. You are getting colorless liquid. This colorless liquid. This colorless liquid immediately solidifying. Immediately solidifying. This solidify, that means immediately it is solidifying in the loop. In the loop it is solidifying. Now in the loop what is there in the sense, in the loop what is there in the sense, this substance is there, solid substance is there. It is appearing what? It is appearing colorless. It is appearing colorless. Then it is transparent. Then it is transparent. It is looking like a bead. It is looking like a bead. It is looking like a bead. This bead is called what? Means borax bead. This bead is called a borax bead. This borax bead formula is NaBO2 plus B2O3. NaBO2 plus B2O3. NaBO2 is called a sodium metaborate. Sodium metaborate. Sodium metaborate. Now B2O3 is called what? B2O3. What is the name of B2O3? B2O3 is called a B2O3 is called what we will see. We will take H3BO3. We'll take H3BO3. 2 times H3BO3 will take. Now let us strongly heat this H3BO3. From this water molecules leaves. From this water molecules leaving, what is the remaining? B2O3 is remaining. H3BO3 is called boric acid. H3BO3 is called boric acid. This on heating gives B2O3 by losing water molecules. Therefore, B2O3 is called boric oxide. B2O3 is called boric oxide. Why it is called boric oxide? Because it is from boric acid. Because it is from boric acid, therefore it is called boric oxide. It is also called boric anhydride. It is also called boric anhydride. Why it is called anhydride? Because boric acid loses water molecules and becoming B2O3. It is losing water molecules. After losing water molecules, it is becoming B2O3. It is not having water molecules, so that it is called anhydride. It is from boric acid, therefore it is called a boric anhydride. Another one is called another name is called boron trioxide. Boron trioxide. So B2O3 is called boric oxide or boric anhydride. This boric anhydride and sodium metaborate, this mixture is called borax bead. This mixture is colorless. This mixture is transparent. It is looking like a glassy bead. It is looking like bead. This name is called a borax bead. This borax bead we are taking for salt analysis, so that the test is called a borax bead test. Borax bead test. Sorry, how to get to borax bead, that we'll see. We are taking a borax. The borax is having water molecules, hydrated water molecules. This borax is introduced into oxidizing flame. It is getting swelling. Why is it is swelling? In the sense it is losing water molecules. The water molecules are evaporating away from the borax, therefore it is swelling. Then it is losing the water molecules and then becoming anhydrous borax. Anhydrous borax formula is Na2B4O7. This on this is melting. It is melting and becoming colorless liquid. The colorless liquid immediately becoming solid. That means colorless liquid is solidifying and becomes solid. This solid is colorless and transparent, looks like a bead. This bead is called borax bead. The borax bead formula is NaBO2 and B2O3. NaBO2 name is called sodium metaborate. B2O3 is called boric oxide. Why B2O3 is called boric oxide? It is obtained by heating H3BO3. H3BO3 is called boric acid. This on heating, it undergoes dehydration. Dehydration in the sense it loses water molecules. After losing water molecules, what is the remaining here? B2O3 is remaining. Since it is obtaining from boric acid, we are saying it is as boric oxide. And it is also called boric anhydride, otherwise boron trioxide. Now this boric oxide and sodium metaborate, this mixture is called borax bead. This borax bead we are taking for a salt analysis. That test is called borax bead test. Borax bead test is meant for colored salts. Now now we will take platinum loop. In the platinum loop, what is there? Borax bead is there. In the platinum loop, borax bead is present. Borax bead is present. The borax bead formula is what? NaBO2 plus B2O3. NaBO2 plus B2O3 is the formula of borax bead. Borax bead formula is NaBO2 plus B2O3. Now let us take the given salt. We will take given salt in the watch glass. Suppose the given salt is copper sulfate. Suppose the given salt is copper sulfate, which is a colored salt. Borax bead test is meant for colored salt. Now this loop is placed in the copper sulfate. The copper sulfate clings into this loop. The copper sulfate clings into the loop. Now because of a hot condition, now copper sulfate is clinged into the loop. Then the loop is introduced into the oxidizing flame. Copper sulfate undergoes a decomposition to give copper oxide and sulfur trioxide. Sulfur trioxide. This copper oxide, this copper oxide with boron trioxide. Boron trioxide gives a CuBO2 twice. It is called a cupric metaborate. It is called a cupric metaborate. This cupric metaborate is showing some color in hot condition and showing some color in cold condition. In cold condition, what it shows? What color it shows in the sense light blue color it shows. Now copper salts, hydrated copper 2 salts, blue color, copper 2 salts, blue color, so it is showing blue color. In hot condition it shows green color. In hot condition it shows green color. This copper metaborate then it is introduced into the reducing flame. Then it is introduced into the reducing flame. Reducing flame contains unburnt carbon. That unburnt carbon takes oxygen and becomes carbon monoxide. Now this is cupric. Cupric becomes cuprous. Cupric becomes cuprous. Cuprous metaborate we are getting. We are getting a cuprous metaborate. We are getting cuprous metaborate. Now carbon oxidation number 0. Here it is plus 2. 0 is converting into plus 2 means loss of 2 electrons. Here plus 2 is converting into plus 1 means gain of 1 electron. Therefore we will make this as 2 times in order to make loss and gain equal. Then we'll see here 2 borons. Here Here two boron atoms are present. Here four boron atoms present. Remaining two borons we will write here. Then oxygens will balance. Here oxygen is 8. Here oxygen is 4. Here 1. Remaining 3 oxygens we will write here. Therefore, cupric metaborate. Cupric metaborate in reducing flame becomes cuprous metaborate. Then this cuprous metaborate with carbon becomes what we'll see. This carbon takes oxygen and becomes carbon monoxide. So carbon is undergoing oxidation. This cuprous is undergoing reduction and becomes copper. Then becomes copper. For balancing, we'll write here 2 times, then remaining is what means B2O3. So in reducing flame, what is available in the sense copper is available. This copper is existing some color in cold and some color in hot condition. In cold, what color it shows? You might have seen copper wires. Copper wires is appearing in what color? Reddish brown. Therefore, this copper is appearing reddish brown in the cold condition. In the hot condition it is appearing colorless. It is the borax bead test for a copper salt. So copper salt will show like this test. So in this copper sulfate salt, how it shows borax bead test, that we will see. We are taking a borax bead in the loop. In the platinum loop borax bead is there. It is in hot condition. This hot condition, this loop is placed in a copper sulfate salt. Copper sulfate clings into the loop because of hot condition. Now this copper sulfate present in the loop and borax bead is present in the loop. This loop is introduced into oxidizing flame. While copper sulfate undergoes decomposition to give copper oxide and sulfur trioxide. Sulfur trioxide is a gas which escapes to the atmosphere. Copper oxide copper oxide combines with B2O3 of borax bead, B2O3, and giving what means cupric metaborate. Cupric metaborate formula is CuBO2 twice. Metaborate is BO2 minus. Cupric is Cu plus 2. So cupric metaborate is CuBO2 twice. This cupric metaborate in hot condition shows green color. This cupric metaborate in cold condition shows light blue color. Then this cupric metaborate is introduced into reducing flame. This cupric metaborate is introduced into reducing flame. Now this cupric metaborate takes carbon from reducing flame and undergoes reduction. This carbon undergoes oxidation and becomes carbon monoxide. This cupric undergoes reduction and becomes cuprous. This cuprous undergo further reduction. This cuprous undergo further reduction to give a copper. This cuprous undergo further reduction to give copper. This copper is showing reddish brown color in cold. This copper is opaque. This copper is opaque. This copper is opaque. Previously transparent. Borax bead is transparent. Borax bead is transparent. This copper is opaque. Copper is present in the loop. Copper is present in the loop. In this loop, what is present now? In this loop, what is present? Copper is present. In this platinum wire. In this platinum loop, copper is present. In this platinum loop, copper is present. This copper is giving a reddish brown. This copper is opaque. This copper is opaque. This copper is giving colorless in a hot condition. So copper salt behaves like this in a borax bead test. Copper salts behave like this in a borax bead test. Okay. Next colored salts will take. Next colored salts we will take iron. We will take iron. We will take. We will take iron salts. We will take. Iron salts behave like what we will see. Iron salts. In the iron salts, if you take, iron is showing a generally +2 oxidation number and +3 oxidation number. +2 and +3 oxidation numbers shown by iron generally. Okay. Now you can see ferrous is less stable. Ferrous is ferrous salts and ferric salts. Ferrous salts and ferric salts will see. Ferrous salts and ferric salts. Ferrous is having green color. Ferric is having yellow or brown. Yellow or brown. Yellow or brown. Ferric is having yellow or brown. Ferrous is having green. Now see that ferrous salts we should not expose to atmospheric air. If we expose to atmospheric air, immediately it is becoming yellow. Ferrous is green. Ferrous on exposure to atmospheric air immediately becoming yellow because it is converting into ferric. Why ferrous is converting into ferric easily? That means which salt is stable salt? This ferric salts are stable salt. Ferrous salts are not having stability. Not having stability. That means ferrous stability is less. For ferric stability is high. Now, how do we know that like this ferrous salts on exposure to atmospheric air immediately becoming ferric? Immediately becoming ferric. It is not taking much time, immediately becoming ferric. Suppose you are doing practical, you are doing a exam, you are doing practical exam, you are given ferrous salts. Ferrous salts given in the sense you are taking ferrous salts from the lab. At that time it will exist as green color. You are doing a salt analysis. After doing salt analysis, now practical is over, 3 hours is over. Now if you see the watch glass, in the watch glass what will be there means only yellow color, only brown color will be there. Within few minutes the green will become yellow. Within few minutes, within 1 or 2 minutes the green will become yellow. That means you say that which is having higher stability. So we can say ferric is having higher stability, ferrous is having lower stability. Sorry, why ferric is having higher stability? Because ferric in the sense electronic configuration is 3d5 4s 4s0, argon 3d5 4s0. Ferrous is argon 3d6 4s0. Iron electronic configuration is argon 3d6 4s2. Iron electronic configuration argon 3d6 4s2. Fe2 plus means argon 3d6 4s0. Fe3 plus is argon 3d5 4s0. Now 3d5 is off filled configuration. 3d6 is partially filled configuration. So off filled configuration is having higher stability. Therefore ferric is having higher stability. Uh, Ferrous is having 3d6. 3d6 is partially filled. Partially filled means less stability. So ferrous salts are having lower stability. Ferric salts are having higher stability. Sir. Now this iron salts in a borax bead test, what color it shows, that we will see. In the oxidizing flame, iron will exist in +2 or +3. What do you say? +2 or +3, what do you say? In reducing flame, iron will exist in +2 or +3. What do you say? In oxidizing flame, iron will be in +2 or +3. In reducing flame, iron will be +2 or +3. What do you say? In oxidizing flame, what is the oxidation state of iron? Will you say +2 or will you say +3 in the oxidizing flame? What oxidation state it will exist? You are saying that +3. You are correct. In oxidizing flame, iron will exist +3. In reducing flame, shall we say +2?